Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask because we've been celebrating Eid here in the Labour Party for many, many years, and there's one person who's missing here today. Since I started the obviously Labour Party having Eid party in the HQ, he's never missed one, but unfortunately he's passed away 4 months ago. Can we have 1 minute silence for former Mayor of Waltham Forest, Nadeem Ali? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy is on the way, but he's running a little bit late, so I think we're going to start, yeah? And Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, the Shadow Ministers, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu Alaikum, and Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you here tonight. And I'm really, really thankful for you all coming here tonight in such a large numbers. It's a great privilege and honor for me to have you all here tonight. Eid is about celebrating with your friends and families, and Eid is to distribute love and exchange meals with your neighbors, which obviously I can see is a diverse community here tonight. And I'm really, really touched, and I'm really thankful to each and every one of you for coming here in such a large numbers. Thank you so much for all of you coming here. And now I'm going to ask one of my good friends, Jonathan Ashworth, Shadow Secretary of State for Health. Can you please come and say a few words?
Thank you very much, Showkat, and Assalamu Alaikum. And Eid Mubarak to all of you. And it's an absolute honour and a pleasure to be here this evening as the warm-up act for Jeremy. He is on his way, I can assure you. But can I begin by thanking you, Showkat, for all the work that you do for British Muslim Friends of Labour and putting on and driving this tremendous event. We're all in your debt, and we should show you our appreciation for the work that you do. So thank you very much, Showkat. This is an important occasion to mark Eid, and it is appropriate that, yes, this is a British Muslim Friends of Labour event, but it's also appropriate that this is also an interfaith event. I'm delighted that we've got friends here from the Jewish community and the Jewish Labour movement. I'm delighted we have Sikh friends here, Christian friends here. We've got people here who have no faith either. But we are all here because we have, as Joe Cox, our much beloved and missed friend, said, more in common with each other. And while we are proud of our diversity, both as a party and as a nation, and I as a Member of Parliament for Leicester, I'm hugely proud of the rich diversity of the city that I represent. We all recognise, at times like this when we come together, that there is more that unites us, that there is more that we have in common with each other, that there is more between us, that when we talk to each other we realise that there is so little that we have that differentiates ourselves from one another. So I'm delighted that this is, yes, an Eid celebration, but also an interfaith celebration as well. Can I also thank all of you who worked so hard on the recent general election. We had tremendous support from the Muslim community, and although we never take anyone for granted or assume that people vote a particular way, because of the colour of their skin or the faith that they practice. We know that across the various organisations such as this, there was a huge campaign to win over people's support and to convince people to put their trust in the Labour Party once again. And in many, many constituencies across the country, we not only increased the share of our vote, we won seats that we never expected to win. And although we didn't do as well as we wanted to do and form a government, I am confident that with your support and your blessings in the future, that at the next general election, we'll be able to make Jeremy Corbyn Prime Minister and form a Labour government. And we need a Labour government. We need a Labour government to put the transport infrastructure of this country correct. And we've got Andy MacDonald there, our Shadow Secretary of State for Transport, who's a tremendous Shadow Secretary of State for Transport. And we need a Labour government because we need to save the National Health Service, don't we? This summer, the figures were revealed that over 4 million people are now on the waiting list. When Labour were in government, something like 60,000 people had to wait on a trolley in a corridor beyond 4 hours. Completely unacceptable. But whereas it was 60,000 under Labour, under the Tories, it's now 360,000 people waiting on trolleys in corridors. And many of you will have relations, and perhaps some of you yourselves work in the NHS, perhaps some of you are GPs, or you've got family members who've gone off to work in the NHS. You know as well as I do that because of the cuts, the underfunding and the privatisation agenda, the NHS is on its knees. And we need a Labour government to put the NHS right. So thank you for your support. Let me just say one final thing.
The student fees.
We're going to get rid of the student fees as well. Yes, we're going to get rid of the tuition fees. But look, I don't want to steal all of Jeremy's best lines. So let me just say one final thing. I'm very proud to represent Leicester, a tremendously diverse city. A city where you can literally walk down the street. There'll be a mosque, a gurdwara, a Hindu temple, a synagogue, a church, all within yards of one another. I go to Eid celebrations, indeed at Ramadan. I even fast for a day, only a day, at maybe I'll do 30 days, inshallah. But we celebrate all the different religious festivals, and we all come together as a united city in Leicester, and that is how it should be. And that is what the Labour Party is all about. It's bringing communities together and standing up for every community. And my one final thought is, these Eid celebrations, they've been good family celebrations amongst your families and ours in Leicester. There's some parts of the world where unfortunately our brothers and sisters have not been able to celebrate Eid in the way they should have been allowed to. And I don't want to run through all the various injustices in the world, but let me just reassure you that we are speaking out and raising the issue of the Rohingya community in my Thank you again, Sugar, for putting on this tremendous Eid celebration. I'm sure Jeremy will be here soon, because I've run out of things to say. Thank you very, very much. Have a good evening. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. And I'll see you all at the Party Conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Really appreciate that. What a lovely, short and sharp speech. Thank you so much. Can I invite Andy MacDonald, the Shadow Transport Secretary, please? Can I have a round of applause for Andy, please?
Thank you very much.
Andy's a very good friend of mine. Me and Andy go a long way back. So,
thanks very much, Shukla. It's very, very good of you to invite me, and it's an absolute utter pleasure to be with you for this celebration. Trying to follow John, that was absolutely terrific. But he and I share a lot in common. We serve the same sorts of communities, and he's absolutely right when he says it's a joy to see the multi-faith nature of our communities reflected here tonight. My community in Middlesbrough is exactly the same, and it's an absolute joy. But it's also, I feel it's an obligation upon politicians such as myself, and it's curious, isn't it, that where we have good family communities as we have in our Labour constituencies, there you will find good evidence of multi-faith working, as Jonathan has outlined. So he's absolutely right in what he says, but we have a huge job ahead of us. We did so much better than we ever anticipated at the last general election. It came as a very pleasant surprise, and we say it that way. But my goodness, we were so close, and we know that the nature of British politics has changed, and it isn't going back. people have had more than enough of this austerity regime since 2010, and we cannot allow that to continue any further. We've got a huge challenge coming up with the withdrawal bill. And just to explain a little bit about that, because some people will be concerned that, and will try to make mischief and misinterpret that what the Labour Party is about moving away from the decision that the British people made. I voted and campaigned to remain in the European Union. People in this room will be of similar mind. There'll be those who took a different view. The decision has been made. But what we're not prepared to do in the Labour Party is tolerate this bill that is the most monstrous constitutional outrage, which takes such power, not from the European Union, but hands it straight to ministers. And brothers and sisters, I've got to tell you, if those powers are enshrined in law, these ministers will use those powers, and they will be used to attack basic human rights. They have got the ability to do it. They will erode our employment rights. Our environmental protections will be under threat. So this is a big moment in political history coming up over the next several days. Now, we've heard that many Tories are unhappy with the situation, but it seems that they are not so unhappy that they would do the decent thing by our country and our communities and protect these rights. And my goodness me, if the European Union referendum was about anything, it was about making our country sovereign, so we were told, were we not, at great length. But that sovereignty cannot rest in the hands of the executive. It must be in our parliament, our elected representatives, to hold government to account. That's what it's all about. It's about the checks and balances. So you'll see an awful lot about this over the next several days, but I just wanted to explain the position of the party so that people could be in no doubt. And then I can spend the next 40 minutes giving you an account of our plans in transport. Jonathan's doing an incredible job in health, and we've got the immense challenges. My pleasure and my privilege is to develop and lead the policy, transport policies of the Labour Party, and the principal one amongst them is going to be the very thing that so many people want in our country, which is the return of our railway system into public ownership. And that's exactly what an incoming Labour government will do. We need to see our communities connected. We need to see a fairer distribution of infrastructure development across all your communities up and down the country. We know how badly served some places are. There's a great deal for us to do. I'm really looking forward to this challenge that's ahead of us. We've got a great conference coming up in Brighton. I think this is going to be very, very different to the conferences we've had in the past, and I'm looking forward to seeing many of you there and engaging with you once again. So Shaukat, many, many thanks for inviting me to speak, and thank you for inviting me here tonight to join with the celebrations. It's a delight to be here, and I wish you all a lovely evening and look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you so much. Can we have a round of applause for Andy, please? A bit louder than that. Andy deserves more than that. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a very, very a man who's behind all this, a man behind all the Labour Party. May I ask, a man, last year we came here and there was £25 million debt. But this man has done a splendid job, and that's all being cleared. May I ask Ian McNichol, the General Secretary, to come out of stage, please?
Right, I'll be brief. Jeremy's going to be a little bit late because there's a number of votes that are taking place, so I don't know if we want to have a little bit of a break after a couple of speeches, and then Jeremy will come in. We're just trying to work through the exact timing. But as Andy was talking about, there are a number of really important votes coming up in the House of Commons this afternoon. So I'd just like to say a big warm welcome. Many of my friends are within the room, and for those of you who are here for the first time, a warm welcome to the Labour Party headquarters. I just want to touch on two things. The general election We had a fantastic result. We didn't win, but we moved forward. What we now need to do is take it to the next stage. And I'd just like to personally thank Showcat and all of your communities for the support that was delivered during that election. Out campaigning, out knocking on doors, delivering leaflets, talking to communities, to residents up and down the country. Absolutely fantastic. Our membership is now well over 550,000 members, which is amazing. We can build on that, and we have important elections next year in London, but not just in London, around many councils, and we're still selecting candidates. So for those of you who want to get involved in politics, want to get involved in campaigning, go back to your constituencies, get engaged in your constituencies, get involved in your constituencies, stand to try and get selected to be a councillor, and if you do, then we'll support you and work with you to be elected. So I'd just like to wish you all a really happy, prosperous and enjoyable Eid. Enjoy yourselves at Labour Party HQ tonight. Work with Showcat, with the other communities who are here tonight, and let's get out and win the next election. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Ian. Can we have a round of applause a bit harder for Ian, please? Ian works so hard. And we really appreciate your services, Ian. What you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to have a little break. Is that okay? Because Jeremy's going to be a little late because he's got 3 VIP in the House of Commons. So he might be a little bit late. Is that okay with you all?
Yes,
have a little break?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.